Greetings, NASCAR enjoyers, and here we are at the Infineon Raceway, aka Sonoma Raceway. Last time, SVG dominated both Chicago race, and I'm hoping that his winning streak will continue here. But anyways, after Marty Smith gave off the command to start the drivers' engines with, "Gentlemen, start your engines," instead of, "Drivers, start your engines," the 2025 Xfinity Series race at Wine Country begins with SVG getting pushed by Sam Mayer to the lead. Daniel Dye and Austin Green both went into the grass. Jesse Love attempts to get past Mayer and is able to do so. Oh, come on! Don't let that guy get past you! Zillisch just got past SVG for the lead, and he now has the fastest lap. Wait, what? But SVG beat him to the fastest lap, and the two continued to go at each other while having to deal with Mayer. SVG got past Zillisch while Zillisch got the title of fastest lap back. Holy crapper! This is getting exciting. SVG has another worthy opponent, and their battle will be legendary. So far, no cautions, and that's good, as all I want to see is the battle between Zillisch and SVG. Veteran versus rookie. Meanwhile, Jesse has fallen back to 6th, and I'm glad that he did, as I don't want him to get in the way of the epic battle between the two Trackhouse road racers. He also had to come down to pit road as there was something wrong with his car. Nick Sanchez is next to come down to pit road and is the first to flip the stage, and just a lap later, Sawallich is next to join in. Zillisch and SVG are next to come down to pit road to flip the stage, and that seems to be a thing with both drivers on road courses. Because SVG and Zillisch decide to flip the stage, Sam Mayer would be the one to win the first stage of the Xfinity Series race at Sonoma. Several drivers would come down to pit road as always, but anyways. The second stage begins with SVG and Zillisch continuing to battle for the lead. They also have to deal with Sawallich and Hill. Holy crapper! SVG just locked up the brakes, but that doesn't stop him from falling back. As long as Sawallich and Allgaier keep Hill at bay, it'll be good, because I really don't want him to affect this battle. SVG brakes late and drives past Zillisch for the lead on lap 29. And Josh Williams loses control and could have caused a caution, but he was thankfully safe. Phew. Please don't ruin their chances to win. Eckes comes down to pit road, and he has issues down pit road. The number 07 car had to make a pit stop. Creed and Sammy battle for 9th, while Zillich's lead gap is now a 2nd. SVG and Zillisch both come down to pit road to flip the stage yet again. BJ, Brandon Jones, not BJ McLeod, gets past Allgaier and would end up winning the second stage. As expected, we'd get our next set of pit stops and BJ would win the race off of pit road. But anyways, with just 29 to go, the final stage begins with Zillisch and SVG continuing to go at it. Holy crapper, Sawallich just got past SVG and he's now in 2nd, but SVG won't go down without a fight. SVG got 2nd back as he got past Sawallich. Ah crap. Eckes wrecked his car and blew a tire. Thankfully, no caution had been thrown. Poole and Ryan Sieg also got involved with each other. Hill and Gray battle for 8th, and another driver loses control. Phew, that was close. Even with 15 to go, Zillisch continues to lead. Harrison got involved with Corey Day, lost control, and went into the wall. He was this close to causing a caution, but I'm glad he didn't. SVG starts coming closer and closer to Zillisch with just 12 to go, as he is not slowing down anytime soon. Even with 5 to go, the battle continues. Meanwhile, Austin Hill is trying to defend 14th from Day, and then all of a sudden, Hill forces Day to spit out and he gets into the grass. Good lord, can you please stop racing dirty for 5 minutes? With 2 to go, the battle gets even more intense as SVG and Zillisch are neck and neck. He tried to get past Zillisch but isn't able to do so. Next time by, Zillisch blocks and manages to defend SVG for his 4th career victory. Needless to say, the race got really intense as it was a battle between a veteran and a rookie. For that reason alone, it gets a 9 out of 10. But anyways, time to head over to the Cup Series race at Sonoma. Will SVG return the favor and win this time around? Well, let's find out, shall we? Greetings, NASCAR enjoyers, and let's hope that SVG can bring home another win in the Cup Series. Last time, he didn't get the win in the Xfinity Series race as he got beaten by Zillisch. Hopefully, he'll get it this time around. Tyler Florence would be the special guest to give off the command to start the driver's engine. And if you're wondering about the road course debate, yeah, I think that 6, 7, or 8 road courses play. I want road courses on the schedule for variety, but there's also such a thing as too much road courses. I mean, come on. When is Motegi ever going to show up on the NASCAR schedule? Mobility Resort Motegi, the oval, that was damaged by the Tohoku earthquake in 2011. Yeah, I want to see that oval get fixed up and end up on the NASCAR schedule as the 2nd or 3rd international event. Because if there's any oval that I want to see as an international event, it's Motegi. Anyways. It can't all be ovals because there would be no variety. But anyways, the first stage of the 2025 Toyota Save Mart 350 begins with Shane Van Gisbergen jumping to the lead while Chase Briscoe is on his tail. Free Willy gets past Briscoe for second. That's William Byron's nickname, by the way, that Michael Moose came up with. And now Chastain is trying to get past him. Chastain manages to dive past Briscoe for third. So far, not much is going on. Even on lap 10, SVG is not slowing down, and not even Free Willy, aka William Byron, can stop him. Unless pit stops or cautions become a factor. Oh my good golly! Chastain starts falling behind, and Briscoe is back at third! He is now trying his best to defend 6th from AJ. Yeah, it's AJ Allmendinger. Larson, who won last year's race, is running in 14th. Meanwhile, SVG's lead gap just increased to 4 seconds. Kyle Larson keeps falling back, and so far, things are not looking good for him. Austin Cindric is first to come down to pit road, and next to join in are Ryan Blaney, Brad Kay, and Kyle Larson. On lap 23, SVG comes down to pit road to flip the stage, as he usually does, and gives up the lead to his teammate, Ross Chastain. Christopher Bell lost control, but thankfully he made it to the track and didn't cause a caution. Ross Chastain wins the first stage of the 2025 Toyota Save Mart 350, while SVG defends second from Bubba Wallace, who was not able to get past it. Yeah, Hubba Bubba tried to get past him, but we all know that SVG is a great road racer. You don't mess with a great road racer. Yeah, never mess with a 3-time Supercars champion. SVG is just a legend. He's like the Michael Jordan of supercars. He knows how to put on a good show at road courses. As expected, several drivers come down to pit road during the stage caution, but anyways. The second stage begins with SVG continuing to lead, even with Free Willy trying his best to get past him. And Blaney nearly lost control as there was contact. AJ also lost control, but thankfully, no caution had been thrown. Even John Hunter Nemechek, aka Nematode, isn't safe as he too spun out. SVG and Free Willy continue to battle for the lead. Come on, man, don't let him get past you. Even on lap 40, Free Willy is not going away, and we might have the reason why. His car might have gotten an air pressure adjustment. Hold up, Briscoe is now in second. Daniel Suarez spun out, and he was this close to causing caution, but thankfully it didn't cause one. Lil Bow Wow, aka Alex Bowman, got past Carson Hocevar and is now running in 15th. Several drivers come down to pit road on lap 52. Free Willy and Prosper, Texas come down to pit road, and Buescher manages to beat Byron to the pit road exit, which is impressive for him. A lap later, SVG comes down to pit road, and just like Pillow, his pit crew is excellent. Larson is now in the lead. Holy crapper, SVG manages to get past Larson, and two have contact! And just like that, SVG wins the second stage. As expected, several drivers come down to pit road during the stage caution, and Larson wins the race off pit road. But anyways, the third and final stage begins with Briscoe trying to take the lead from SVG, but SVG manages to defend the lead from him. Meanwhile, Buescher and Blaney battle for third, and Buescher forced him into the barrier, which causes the first non-staged caution. A few drivers pit in under caution, but anyways. The caution ends with SVG continuing to lead. Briscoe defends second from Free Willy after he attempted to get past it. Even on lap 72, SVG is still unstoppable. Meanwhile, Ross Chastain is trying his best to defend 11th from Larson and Lil Bow Wow. After Lil Bow Wow, aka Alex Bowman, fell back after contact was made between him and Brad Kay. Bushi also lost control. Ty Gibbs, who nearly ran over someone on pit road, yes, there was that infamous pit road incident between him and one of the pit crew members and Ty Gibbs, and this was even mentioned in the race broadcast itself. And seriously, again, we had Joey Logano trying to run over Austin Dillon's pit crew, and now this? Jeez, slow down, man, and don't get too mad. Got past Ryan Preece for step. Yeah, about that. Nobody knows if he did it on purpose or intentionally. Chastain overtakes Reddick and is now running down Preece. Preece comes down to pit road and gives up knife to Chastain. Lil Bow Wow is next to come down to pit road, and more drivers then join in. A lap later, Chase Elliott, AJ, and Brad K come down to pit road. Briscoe comes down to pit road to make his final pit stop, and next to join is SVG. SVG's pit crew manages to keep him ahead of Briscoe, as like before, his pit crew is excellent. Taco Bell, Christopher Bell, and Chastain are next to join in. Yeah, Taco Bell is Christopher Bell's nickname, by the way, if you haven't known already. Kyle Larson's now leading until he pits in and gives up the lead to McDowell. Denny Hamlin also gets penalized, but hey, at least he didn't DNF this year. Unlike last year where he had tranny issues and blew a transmission, yeah. I still feel bad for him in that situation, but it was a year ago though. But I'm thankful that he finished the race this time. Holy crapper! SVG manages to get past McDowell for the lead, and not even a pit stop could stop him. And there you guys are saying that drivers can't make any passes here with the next-gen car. Well, SVG just proved it can be done. Briscoe also got past McDowell, and even Elliott managed to get past him. Cody Ware lose a tire, and the caution came out. Oh, come on! Please don't let this ruin the outcome of the race, though I'm surprised it hadn't been called sooner as the tire bounced around and yeeted off of Cody Ware's car like it was nothing. Yeah, the single lugs have their flaws, but they're much better than the 5 lugs. Yeah, and they're much grippier and they brake a lot better. Several drivers pit in, but Briscoe and SVG stay out. And McDowell's car catches fire during the pit cycle. Good lord, Spire is not having any luck. Hopefully things couldn't get any worse, but anyways. The caution ends with SVG making a jump to the lead, and he manages to fend off Briscoe. And another caution just came out as there was a huge wreck that just happened. Even Kyle Larson got involved, which is pretty bad for Larson because he won last year's race. Blaney comes down to pit road. After he got to witness one of the biggest pileups on any road course race, the caution ends with SVG continuing to lead. But not without contact for Briscoe. And then another caution just came out with Stenhouse hitting the tire barrier. Dang it. Can we please get a full lap already? Of course, Ty Gibbs had to force him to spin out, but it's not like Ricky Stenhouse Jr. is good at road course racing anyways, because he's one of the worst drivers on road courses alongside the Dillon brothers and Eric Jones. Stuff like this makes me wonder why he's still racing for JGR. But anyways, the race eventually restarts with more contact between Briscoe and SVG, and the Kiwi manages to defend the lead. Another huge pileup occurs, but no cautions from this time. Thank fudge. Barry takes out Hocevar, but he's safe as Hocevar manages to get past on the track. Elliott just fell back to 4th, but he managed to recover after that mistake and he's back in 3rd. Here we go. It's the final lap. All SVG has to do is take it to the finish and not make any mistakes. And just like that, SVG dominates Sonoma and takes home another win just like Pelot did. Yeah, the race had a bunch of cautions in the end, but it still got a 9 out of 10 as the battle between SVG and Briscoe got intense in the end. He also became the first driver since Jimmie Johnson to win 3 consecutive races, count 3 consecutive races on pole. Yeah, that's really incredible, man. But anyways, I won't be watching the next NASCAR race as I will be attending another race that I've been keeping a surprise. So this will be my last one for now. Here's last year's race. Here's last year's Sonoma races if you want to see them. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell just in case you haven't already done so. Catch you guys next time. Peace out.